What's happening, everybody? Welcome once again to the TB Toycast YouTube channel and another edition of What's on the Pegs. A little bit late at coming at you today. I'm going to try to get this up Saturday night, but it's probably going to be up Sunday. I did just come back into town. I was in Florida for about a week, a little over a week as a matter of fact, and so I tried to get as much done as I could as far as getting stuff out there, but, it's just one of those things when you work, I'm constantly moving, constantly going, it's a little bit hard to pull off. But I did want to get you a new episode of What's on the Pegs. Of course, this is episode 13. And I was in Florida. I was at Disney World, actually, visiting Disney World and Universal Studios. Let's just say I need a vacation from the vacation. It was a fun trip, but if anyone's ever been, they know they are grueling trips. It's a lot of walking. I have an Apple Watch now. You've probably seen it in some of the videos. And, of course, Apple Watches track your steps and all that stuff. Me and my family were averaging 6 to 8 miles pretty much every day, which a lot of people don't walk that much. So feet start to ache, ankles start to ache, things like that. Plus just the Florida heat and everything else. It was definitely a wild trip. I didn't get as many pictures of toys as I was hoping to get. It's one of those things where my hotel had a gift shop, a Disney gift shop, and I planned to take a lot of pictures of the stuff in there, and then just kind of a little bit like time ran out, and I didn't. So I will kind of talk about some of the stuff that I did see, even though I may not have pictures to show for it. But these first things I found, this was kind of interesting because I've seen these before, and I actually found these at Disney Springs at a store called Ron Jon, which is like a surf shop store. A lot of you are probably familiar with it. My niece likes to go in there and get new shirts because they don't really have Ron Jon anywhere around here. They're very much always stores by, a big body of water. But the world's smallest toys. These are kind of cool, and Stretch Armstrong, the Slinky, and a few other things there. I've seen these at different novelty shops before, where it's like classic fit toys or figures, but in very, very small scale. As you can see here, $8.99. So I guess for a tourist trap type place, that's not super expensive. But I don't know, nothing I would pick up or anything like that. But it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Of course, we get the Rubik's Cube, the Super Soaker, the I don't remember the name of that Crocodile Dentist. Is that what it's called? I guess. I remember playing that, but I don't know much about it. But I thought these were fun. Of course, Stretch Armstrong there, as I mentioned before. But far from something I would need. But the same time, if I were to get some of these, I would I have to get them all. You can't just get one, right? It's like a whole collection or nothing. And the problem is, you don't see these in a lot of places. In fact, like I said, I've only seen these in novelty, like touristy type places. So they might be in other places, but not as far as I know. I'll also mention this. My hotel had a lot of these figurine box sets. I think they're exclusive to the Disney parks, and they included about 6 or 7 figurines. They were not posable at all. They had no articulation, but they were all themed. So they had Marvel, they had Star Wars. They had one full set that was just Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, they had all the Disney films. They had Cars. They had Toy Story. I believe they had Up. They had, oh my gosh, so many others. They had one that was just Disney villains. I thought that was pretty cool. I think they had Aladdin, and they had several others. And the more you went into the different parks, the more you saw. My problem, again, with something like that, it's not so much that they have that. It's like, oh, I want all of them, and which is just not feasible. So, and you can only get them there, so it's kind of a hard collection to build. And I took a picture of this in the arcade at the hotel because I was like, oh, that's freaking awesome. It was an X-Men '97 arcade game. Well, I say X-Men '97. It might have just been an X-Men arcade game, but I was like, how cool is that? Of course, X-Men now part of the Disney library, the Disney films, of course, with the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Always been a huge fan of X-Men. I loved it as a kid. I love that toy line. Spoiler, that will be coming up on Tales of the Toy Box very soon. And just seeing that was really cool. Obviously, this has nothing to do with toys, but I was just like, hey, X-Men, an arcade game. That's amazing. Of course, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Wars right there next to it. So really just cool stuff in general. At the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, they had this figure set, which I thought was really cool. It was a Mickey Mouse Pirates of the Caribbean box set. As you can see, several different figures in there, a lot of accessories. I thought this was pretty cool. I think I would have rather like seen like a Pirates of the Caribbean set with the characters from the Pirates movies, but still pretty cool. And there was also a pirate ship playset you could get. So again, this was I only saw this at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, so it's far from a impulse buy, I guess. But still, it's like, hey, that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if it's something people are into or not, but still pretty cool. Then at Universal Studios, I saw these, and oddly enough, I saw this figure 2 years ago when I was there. Marvel Select, of course, we got Wolverine and then Beta Ray Bill. I saw Beta Ray Bill last time because I remember looking at it thinking, like, man, that figure is awesome. Marvel Select are great. Oddly enough, and here's my take on Marvel Select. I'd love to get your guys' opinions because I think that's a Diamond Select, and I believe they're going out of business, is at least the last I heard. Marvel Select I never bought because they always seemed expensive. But their prices haven't gone up where everyone else's has. So now it's like $30. So it's like kind of congruent with everything else. I'm like, no, maybe it's not so bad. I don't know. But I saw these last time and I'm like, that's interesting. The same thing over again. I'm kicking myself for not getting a picture of this because I don't know why I didn't do this. I think it's because I was in a rush and there's my nephew's there, my niece is there, and she's a little baby, and it just so much is going on, I wasn't really thinking straight. But I went to Epic Universe, which is the new park from Universal Studios, and I saw that the NECA Universal Monster figures. They're like $48 a piece, so they weren't exactly cheap. And I think you can actually buy them online now, so the exclusivity of that is kind of worn off. But I'm like, oh, that's so cool. They had different kind of paint variations, but I didn't take a picture of them. What was I thinking? That would have been perfect for this, and I completely just blanked on it. But again, so much cool merchandise. Sometimes it's overwhelming when you go into a gift shop. It's like I could spend $1,000 in here very easily, as a matter of fact. I also took a picture of these because this is not something I collect, but Hot Toys. Very cool to see Hot Toys. Some Iron Man there. Different versions of Iron Man. I didn't get all of them, but I'm like, wow. But again, is a Hot Toys an impulse buy? Like, you know what? I want to buy a $400 action figure today. I don't feel like it is. Maybe it is. I know these are more like online exclusives for the most part. You might get lucky at a resale shop, but for the most part, this is something you're going to buy online. So maybe someone sees it online like, hey, I want that $400 figure. I don't know. Not for me, but I think these all look amazing. I would never knock how good the quality is. The price point is just not something I can get behind, so it's just probably not something I would dive into. But nonetheless, it is really, really cool. So that's pretty much it, unfortunately. It was not a super productive week for me as far as getting the pictures I wanted, simply because I was super busy, and it was a very... it wasn't like a stressful vacation. I don't want to say that, but it was a very exhausting vacation. So sometimes taking pictures wasn't on the forefront of my mind, as you can say. But I did want to throw this picture in here as well. And Daniel Cross ran into something else that I wanted to bring up, which I thought was really cool. The new Playmates Power Rangers figures. We've known about these. Obviously, Hasbro turned over the license to Playmates. I believe Hasbro owns the license, but is allowing Playmates to produce the figures. Power Rangers Reignition, as we're seeing, going back to the auto-morphing feature with the head flip. Very 90s. Very, very fun. A lot of people are dogging these figures. Oh, these look like crap. Why would I want these? And everyone's certainly entitled to that opinion, and I think it's a super valid opinion. But how do I say this? I like toys that look like toys. And I know if they tried to do Toy Biz style Marvel figures, and I'm talking like early 90s Toy Biz, people would probably crap on those too. But it's like, but that's what I grew up with. That's what I liked, right? And so I'm going to give these a chance. And so, as a matter of fact, I did pick up the Green Ranger today. I finally found the setup because, like I said, I've been out of town and haven't been to a Walmart in about a week. But I did find a setup today. And I saw, I believe, the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger, the Black Ranger, and the Blue Ranger, and then Rita Repulsa, plus the Morpher and the Zords. And I was like, oh, that's all really cool. And, initially I was like, I'm not getting the Zords, but I kind of might. They're $20 each from what I could tell. And you can, of course, build the Megazord with them, which is awesome. So that might be something I get. We'll see. But I did pick up the Green Ranger, and always been my favorite. They had on the back of the box, of course, the Pink and Yellow Ranger, which I think we're going to be coming out at a later date, plus the Putty Patroller and Goldar. So I assume that'll probably be like officially Wave 2, the Pink and Yellow, Putty Patrol, and Goldar. And I know at SDCC last year, I believe they showed off like Squat and King Sphinx and Babu maybe. So hopefully more villains are coming. I would love to see them do Bulk and Skull. They've really had very few figures, which is a shame because they were a massive part of Power Rangers. I would love to see more. Lord Zed, give me Rito, give me Ivan Ooze if you want to dive into movie stuff. I would love to see it all. I think it's really, really fun. I love all the villains of the week of Power Rangers because they had some of the coolest villains of all time. Pudgy Pig, obviously. Nasty Knight was one I loved as a kid because I had the VHS tape of that episode, so that one I always remembered. There was like Pete and Repeat, which was like this big giant chicken. I'm like, come on, like that's amazing. Eye Guy, everyone remembers Eye Guy. Those characters were iconic just because they were so unique. So I hope we see something like that with this line and give us more of those unique characters because I think it's fun. So I'm going to support the line, I think. I am going to do an unboxing on the Green Ranger probably very soon, as a matter of fact, because I want to kind of see how it is and kind of give my honest review of it. So it's a little bit of a shorter episode this week, but hopefully you guys understand traveling was a little bit difficult. But I'm looking forward to the new Power Rangers line. I'm going to be talking about it a little bit more on this upcoming episode of the podcast, which, again, will go back to its original format. I did a couple of interviews this week while I was out of town as kind of placeholder episodes, so hopefully you guys enjoyed Retro Remix 3D. Tony over there doing the 3D printed ice cream bars, which are super fun. And then AD Arrow from Bumps in the Night. Really fun book series. If you were into the Goosebumps back in the day, this will be right up your alley. So I think a lot of people can enjoy them. They're kids' books, but adults can enjoy them too, which I think is something people don't think about, but they're really, really fun. So hopefully you guys enjoy all of that, and I appreciate you checking out this edition of What's on the Pegs. Check out my unboxing videos, 3 every single week, plus What's on the Pegs like this every Saturday or possibly Sunday if I get a little bit behind. And then, of course, also check out Tales in the Toy Box. New episodes dropping once a month, and we so far have had G.I. Joe Street Fighter, which was a lot of fun, WWF Hasbro Series 1, and most recently, which has been one of the highest rated episodes as far as views that I've done, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Series 1. And spoiler, episode 4 will be all about X-Men Series 1. So looking forward to diving into that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. Make sure to check out the TB Toycast podcast. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.